Heyo, Shell from Seashell here. I've been having a working from home day today where I've been sitting at the desk for a little while and thought I'd step outside for a bit of sunshine and a bit of stretching, moving around. Feel free to join me either from your home office or come outside with some vitamin D if you want. I'll set a timer to go off in 10 minutes, but for now, let's begin by stepping the feet out nice and wide. You're going to lean forward, put the hands on the ground a little bit as you squat over to one side and then lift up and over to squat down onto the other side. And just cycle through these Cossack squats a couple of times, keeping your hands on the ground for a little bit of support, or slowly taking your hands away as your legs warm up a little bit more. Moving from left to right, coming up as much as you need to, and we're cycling through this dynamic warm-up stretch. So we've been sitting still for so long during our office day. Get the legs pumping and the blood circulating. Let's do one more on each side before we return back to center. Next, we're going to jump into a wide leg stretch. Let me turn around just so that you can see a little bit better. You should be feeling this in the back of the hamstrings, not so much back of the knees. And then you're going to lean forward, relax your neck while you're doing it. Make sure you're not feeling this too much in the back of the knees. Bend them if you need to. All right, now we're going to pick up our right hand and hold it over on our left ankle, bringing your left arm up to the sky, twisting your thoracic back, and we'll cycle through these little twists. So one hand coming to the opposite leg, reaching up towards the sky with that top arm. And if you can't reach your ankle, you can put that bottom hand on your leg. I've just had an earbud fall out. Onto your knee, a little bit higher, wherever is comfortable. We're trying to get a bit of a thoracic twist in the back because we've been sitting still and rigid with our back, and we just want to get things moving. Cycle through these a couple more times. And then we're going to turn to one side so that you're in a bit of a lunge. Place your hands on the floor for balance if you need to. I'm going to turn around so you can see a little bit better. So you'll be cycling through a little bit of a dynamic lunge stretch to feel in the hip flexors on one leg. Trying to get rid of that chair shape that we've been sitting in. And then straighten your front leg. Lean forward so that you get a little bit of a hamstring stretch in that front leg. I'm just melting my torso over that front leg, and then I'm going to stand back up and lunge again. Melt forward, stretch the hamstring on the other leg, and then change so that it's the lunge stretch again. Cycling through, keeping these dynamic movements. Don't want it to be too intense or don't want it to be too relaxing. We've got to get back to work after this, so we'll just keep moving. And then step that back foot forward so that your feet are together. Place your hands on the ground and you're going to bend one leg and straighten the other. If you can't reach the ground, you can put your hands on your knees or your shins or a chair. And then cycle through these little walks. These are elephant walks. It's kind of like you're walking, but you're not going anywhere. It is a sciatic nerve flossing movement. So if you feel this in the bottom of the feet, that's totally fine. But it's also for the hamstrings and calves. Move through those a couple more times. And then step your other leg back So the opposite one to the way you were just lunging. You're going to start off in your lunge. I've got my knee behind my toes, so I'm not lunging my knee over my toes. And then I'm going to melt forward into that hamstring stretch or triangle stretch, triangle pose in yoga. Come back into a lunge. And then your hamstrings, we're switching, we're flowing between these two things. I've got my hands off the ground. You can put your hands on the ground if you need, and I've got my back heel up off the ground just to activate that back leg a little bit more. But it's finding whatever is most comfortable for you as you're moving through this. Most important thing is that you're moving and you're following along with this as you go, and you're breaking up that monotonous sedentary work day. Step forward with your back leg. I'm going to change so that you can see what I'm doing. All right, and then from here, stand with your feet together. I'll step back so you can see my arms. You're going to reach up and overhead as high as you can, and then grab hold of your left wrist, pulling that arm up, and then bend over into a bit of a banana stretch. Push your hips to the left if you've got your left arm up and overhead, getting that nice stretch in the lower back. And then come back to center. Change hands, so your right hand is the one pointing towards the sky. You're holding it with your left wrist, and then you're pulling up and over, trying to get that nice banana curve happening. You should feel this all the way down your side from about your armpit to your hip. And it can change depending on how much you push your hip into it. Let's go one more on each side. And then up and over, and one more on this side. And then drop your arms. Let's give the shoulders some love. So we'll sit and do some shoulder circles with the shoulders coming up and backwards. We've been sitting and typing for a while, not moving the shoulders very much. And then once you've gone in one direction, change directions. You're trying to get shoulder circles. It looks strange. It's not super easy to explain, but as long as you're doing shoulder circles and it feels excellent, you're doing the right thing. To help try and counterbalance that keyboard stuff. Now let's jump into some neck circles. Oh, I almost fell over. With your neck circling in one direction and then back the other way. Make sure you don't fall over. You're probably not kneeling on a hill like I am. I just had to stand up to find my footing again because I was on a bit of an awkward spot. Couple more of those neck circles. That way you don't get sore upper traps from doing the mouse work with that right hand as well. You'll probably notice that your neck is a little bit crunchy. That's fine. It's a joint, things are moving around. As long as it's not hurting as you're moving things around and you're taking it nice and gently. Alright, not long left now. Let's stand up and clasp your hands behind your back. You've got your feet standing nice and close together or at hip width apart. Try and touch your palms together. Roll your shoulders back and then bend forward to get a nice hamstring stretch. Keep your neck nice and relaxed. And then let your shoulders relax as well. We're trying to get your hands to fall backwards over your head. This should feel excellent in your shoulders and your hamstrings. Your neck doesn't need to do any work. Keep it nice and relaxed. You can pedal out those knees if you need to. Hang out here, make sure you're breathing. And the longer you hold this, the more you might notice your shoulders open up. This one gets easier the more often you do it. It might feel a little bit awkward to start off with. But I love all of the different areas it targets. Alright, slowly make your way back up. Let go of your hands. Oh, I've lost one of my earbuds again. And then not long left. Let's do some balance work. So standing with one foot up. Gonna do some ankle circles while we're here. Change directions. And then switch legs. They're not really circles at this point, but I just want to get a little bit more movement in while I've got the last few seconds of my break. And then, now that we've done that, whoop, there's the alarm. 10 minutes, bye. Gonna go do some office work.